Hello, hello. Welcome to episode 16 of our 100-day challenge. Um, some updates. I got my first so tomorrow is when I have the actual like workshop session for the story about Marco that I submitted to my writing group. I got one preliminary bit of feedback already by email. Um, that I'll go through at some point, like when we finally do an editing stream, I'll go through it. It was mostly helpful. It was very like it had a lot of very actionable things. That all put aside, uh, I am once again in the Boston Public Library, for a little bit. Uh, I'm having so I'm in one of the conference rooms. I kind of got screwed up with the time, so I actually have only half an hour as opposed to the usual hour that I would have it booked. But all is well. I will make it happen. Uh, Yeah, so anyways, so we can pick up where we left off. We're at 14,136 words. I think a reasonable goal is 14,650, which so it's like 514 words, give or take. So let's take a sec. So yeah, so now it's just 500 words left, I think. So I think like I want to kind of stick with this list structure. Here's what he noticed. Second day. Shed and I'll pause for a second to say like so this vignette I want it to cut off before kind of the events of, like the launching. I want it to cut off beforehand and kind of like leave it hanging, right? Like do stuff with implication. And like so some of like that's the thing when I write these vignettes, some of them are going to be fully before, some of them are going to be fully after, some of them are going to like leapfrog the event and be like before and after, but not during, or some of them are going to be like just during, or like there's going to be a lot of different like little snippets of time that these can grab and hold on to, if that makes sense. So that's like how I'm approaching it. I'm just like thinking of things, like strange things for him to notice. pause for a second. I think it's one thing we want to do is we want to give them somewhere to be going. Like the fact that they're going out together every day and they're coming back together every day. Like, where are they going? Because remember, like part of what we like to do, and I say we when I say me, it's the royal we, part of what I like to do in these kinds of big stakes, small stakes stories is like what's the thing, right? Like, because right now we as readers, because of everything that the three vignettes that have come before this, we as readers are fixated on the shed and fixated on the strangeness because we're looking for something to like latch on to and explain all the crazy shit, pardon the French, crazy shit that's going on. And that lets us do a sleight of hand, right? It lets us kind of cover up um, an emotional story, a small scale emotional story that's happening, right? Between these or about these two people, right? So it's like, what are they doing? Where are they going every day? We should come to some sort of understanding about that. Like, so what have we already done? We've already done a couple who's been separated by um by this kind of thing, by this takeoff, so to speak. And we've done like a father who's been separated from, or a son who's been separated from his father, and it's like isn't able to save. And we've done a hospital story. Now, the my first instinct from a minute here was going to be like, oh, this is going to be a story where they like are going every day to like visit their son in the hospital, or like maybe like someone who's like about to give birth. Actually, there's an interesting idea. I sort of like the thought, like, because what we could do is if we set up like she could be pregnant and they could like have to give birth instead of at a hospital, like, and yeah, it's like okay, this is what it tells me. So at some point up like before this, we need to establish the pregnancy, right? Because I sort of like we think like again, I want us to think that it's about one thing, it's not another, but it's actually about another. Again, I'm going to use that phrase. It's one of those phrases, right? Like, but they'd get where they were getting, right? There we go. Yeah, that's how we're kind of like lead into this. Let me make sure that I'm being mindful of the time. Yeah, we'll be fine. That's already. Let me make sure I'm not like kind of doubling my little like cute image tricks. I don't think I am. Right? Like, where's the part where Leia kisses her husband? Be your treetop baby. That's very cute. Yeah, this is all fine. Also, at some point, like we need to have the line like, "I felt a kick," or 14, 17, 14, kind of, or 14, 7, 14. It's kind of a nice little number. All right, do I want to keep going with this for a moment? Well, I want to expand on that. I don't know what that means yet. I want to find a way. I want to like next time I get to discover what that means. I think I want to add one more spacer because this comes a little later, I feel, right? Like this, and what I like about this one, this sort of things like there's a human, like the human story with all these, like the human stories have sort of existed within it. This one sets up like, okay, every story we read from now on we read with the context of somebody is about to have a baby soon and we don't know when. It's kind of that like Alfred Hitchcock thing about like at the start of a movie, show a bomb under a table with a timer, and then just like any scene you show them afterwards, like no matter what's happening, like people are drinking, and you're just waiting for it to go off because you know it's there, right? So not to say that pregnant women are bombs, but like the point is like everything we read after this, we know a baby's coming soon, right? And it's going to be a huge issue, right? Like it's going to happen. What time is it going to happen? It kind of creates that like little tension while also giving us kind of some more feelings and details about what's happening. Like, and I like that. I love that kind of writing. I will say the feedback I got about the first one with Marco, like there was a lot of like stuff there that actually made a lot of sense in terms of like things that need fixing. I've said before that I'm going to do editing streams, but then I never do it because I'm so like busy and in a million different directions. But at some point, like I really should sit down with it because I'm feeling really passionate about the story and I want to like bring it into its best direction. Um, we'll see. I think like at some point this coming week, I'll have enough time to sit down and do like a bigger chunk of this. But for now, that has been episode 16. I'll see you next time for episode 16 of our 100-day challenge. And thank you much for tuning in.